my name is Ansel Awaid, and today I will be explaining the Battle of Maldon with you. So before starting to explain that poem, I will be just telling the backstory about this poem. So we know that there was seven Anglo-Saxon tribes, and these tribes are Northumbria, Mercia, Wessex, Sussex, Kent, Essex, and East Anglia. So these seven Anglo-Saxon tribes, so they become, less powerful, and as said in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles. So we believe that this poem is real, although there is some exaggeration, but we still believe that it is real. Why? Because it existed in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. So in the Chronicle, it says that the Anglo-Saxon tribes are becoming more powerless, and the Vikings are becoming more powerful. So the Anglo-Saxon people try to pay money. They start to pay money to the Vikings in order not to attack them, because the Vikings are becoming more powerful and they start to attack and sack other cities. And these cities, they pay money and they pay tribute to the Vikings in order not to attack them. So these Anglo-Saxon people, they started to pay money each year, and each year they pay more money for the Vikings for appeasement. So of course this is the poem, and the first and the beginning and the end of this poem is lost in the manuscript. There is some lost part, but the parts that we have is enough to make us understand the story of the Battle of Maldon and what is it about. So while reading, we have to pay attention to the themes, that's loyalty and trickery, also courage and cowardice. So now I will start reading. Of course, I will not read the whole poem. It's so long and it takes a lot of time. I will be reading just the most important lines of this poem. So the Battle of Maldon was broken. Then he ordered every young soldier to send off his horse, drive it far off, and go forward. Pay heed to hands and high courage. He let fly from his hands his favorite hawk. Well, what does that mean? When the leader, we will know who is he in the upcoming lines. He, the leader, he ordered his men to release their horses. Why do they do that? And why does he himself releases or frees his hawk? That is because they are going to fight. They are going to fight either to win this battle or to die. So it tells us that they are brave warriors, okay? They are brave fighters, and by releasing the hawk and the horses, so that means they are not going to give up. They are going to win or to die, and we will see either they are going to die or they are going to win. We will see the result of this act. Here, then, Britnoth began to array the troops, ordered, instructed, and showed the soldiers how they should stand and hold the field. So, the leader, who is Britnoth, he is arraying the troops. Why? It seems like they are not a standing army, okay? So, there is some local people within the army. So of course there's army, but there are some local people like farmers or other citizens who want to defend their country, their tribe. So here, then the Viking messenger who made a speech to the earl where he stood on the shore. So we know that the Britnoth, he is preparing the army for the battle, and there is also a Viking messenger. So the Viking people, by the way, they attacked this Anglo-Saxon tribe with 93 ships. Okay, 93 ship we have in the attack by the Vikings. So that now the Viking messenger, he is addressing the leader. He is addressing the Anglo-Saxon people. Let's see what he is saying. Bold seamen have sent me to you. So his lord has sent him to the Anglo-Saxon people. Commanded me to say that you must quickly send us rings for protection, and it is better for all of you. I want you to pay attention to this phrase, for all of you, okay? To buy off this peace storm with tribute than for us to share such a hard battle. So basically he is saying that my lord commanded me to send you this message: either you pay us tribute or ring. He means either you pay us money for to make a truce between us, or we are going to attack you. Give to the seamen all the money they want in exchange to peace. So we will go back to our ships with the gold coins, sail off on the sea, and hold you all in peace. So we have to also to think that when they go back, I mean, if the Anglo-Saxon people are going to give them money for the tribute, okay, as tribute, what will these Vikings do with this money? Are they going to take the money and go and never come back? We don't know. Or are they going to take the money and go and attack another Anglo-Saxon tribe, as they really did? So we will see Britnoth, how is he going to answer this suggestion, that is the money as a tribute. He spoke out, Britnoth spoke out, angry and resolute. He gave this answer: they will give you spears for your tribute, poison points, and ancient swords. So the Anglo-Saxon people are not going to pay money as a tribute. No, instead they are going to fight. So then he commanded his men to carry their shields. I mean, the Lord, who is Britnoth, he commanded them to carry their shields until they all stood on the river's edge. Well, in this battle, I hope there is a map, but unfortunately there is not, but I will explain it. There's a river, okay, and the Viking ships are in the river. So, and there is a small causeway or bridge. So in order for the Vikings to cross the bridge and attack the Anglo-Saxon people, they have to cross this bridge. But imagine if they cross this bridge, they have to come, I mean, all the whole ships, they have to come one by one, or let's say soldier by soldier. And if they come that way, it will be easy for the Anglo-Saxon people to kill them all, because they will not be able to come as, you know, as a whole troop. They will come as parts, and it will be so easy to fight them. So The East Saxon Wagner, the East Saxon vanguard, and the Viking army, the two armies. Okay, neither side could strike at the other, unless one might fall from an arrow's flight. I mean, I think you can imagine the scene, the picture. The two armies, I mean, the ships are in the river, okay, and the Anglo-Saxon people are standing on their shore. So, and no one can strike at the other except by arrows or by spears. So it is not like a battle. They have to find a solution in order to be able to fight. The protector of heroes ordered 100 warriors to hold the causeway. He was called Wulfstan, the son of Ceol, brave among his kinsmen. He shot with his Frankish spear the first man who stepped most boldly across the bridge. So the leader, Britnoth, he commanded some of the most powerful soldiers to hold this bridge in order not to allow the Vikings to attack. But the Vikings are not, although they are 93 ships, they can't attack because, as I said, because there is a causeway, there's a bridge, and they have to go through this bridge. And if they go through this bridge like one by one, it will be so easy to kill them. So that they would meet bitter bridge wardens there. The hateful visitors hatched a plot, so they have to hatch a plot. They asked if they could have access to lead their foot soldiers across the ford. So they wanted to ask for access in order to have a wide, room or place to fight. It was so important idea back then because they think that the battle must be just. It's like, imagine it's like, a duel fight. Then the Earl, in his overconfidence, began to allow too much land to that hateful people. But why? Isn't it a silly idea? I mean, why did he do that? I mean, the leader, Britnoth. They asked for a wide place to fight, and he, with his pride and with his hubris and his overconfidence, he allowed them to come. But I mean, it doesn't have to be a just fight, because they are attacking you and they are coming in order to sack your city. Why did the Britnoth allow them to have access? But we don't know. It is because of his overconfidence, and the pride wasn't a good idea there. I mean, it was his mistake. It was his fatal mistake to allow them to cross the river. And there will be another reason, okay? There will be two reasons that the Anglo-Saxon people will lose this battle. The first reason is the overconfidence, okay? This overconfidence of the leader of Britnoth, and the other reason, we will see it in the upcoming lines. So the Viking troop went west over the Penta. The Penta, it's called Blackwater now. It is the old name for the Blackwater. So against the attackers, Britnoth and his men stood ready. He ordered them to raise the battle wall. So there was a battle wall with their shields. It is like the two armies are crashing to each other, and they are making a battle wall. They start to march toward each other and pushing each another, okay, and stand fast against the foe. The fight was near glory in combat. The time had come when fated man should fall. Again here, fated man should fall. The idea of fate was so important in the Anglo-Saxon belief. They believed that fate is fully fixed, and if it is written for you to die, you will absolutely die. And that's why they are so brave. They attack and they fight without being afraid, because they believe in the fixity of fate. I heard that Edward struck one fiercely with his sword, not stingy with strokes, until at his feet fell the doomed soldier. His leader gave thanks for that to his Cumberland when he had the chance. I mean, it is not from the plot, but the plot of the story, but I want to read this part because in all this poem they describe the scene, the picture of when a person, I mean when an earl fights another man, and it is in a very detailed way. They describe it in a very detailed way how they kill the others. Like he throws his spear and the spear struck him in the heart and he fall to the ground, and they describe it in a very detailed way because it was important for them, this heroic ideas. So what happened then? Then came a tough warrior. So after Britnoth allowed them to come to cross the river, there was a tough warrior. He was weapon raised. He was so skilled in battle. His shield for protection, and stepped toward him, just as firmly went the earl to the churl. So you imagine it. I mean, Britnoth and this warrior all are powerful. All of them are tough warriors. But the sailor, one of the Viking men, he sent off his southern spear, so that the Lord of Warriors was wounded. So the Lord was wounded. Britnoth, the leader, is wounded, and when the leader is wounded, it is a turning point in the battle. He took the life of his attacker. So Britnoth, even when he is wounded, he took the life of his attacker. Then, what happened then? Then one of the Vikings threw a spear from his hand. Look at the way they describe the scene and the picture in a very detailed way. Then one of the Vikings threw a spear from his hand, let it fly from his fingers, so it went too far through the noble thane of Ethelred. The noble thane of Ethelred is Britnoth, because Ethelred is Britnoth's lord. So now Britnoth is going to die, the leader of this battle. So Britnoth, he could no longer stand steady on his feet. He gazed up to heaven. I give thee thanks, O Lord of nations, for all the joys I have had in this world. So Britnoth now, he's going to die, and he is praising God. He is praying to God when he is no longer able to stand. Okay. Here's an idea. Even that he is going to die, he is praying God and he is thankful. Why? Because I think that because he has done well in his life, and it is like, well, it is worth it. Okay, it was worth it to die in this battle after he killed so many people from, I mean, after he killed so much from his foes and his enemies. So it's okay to die now, and it is also a good way to die. In the Anglo-Saxon societies, they believe that you are doomed to die. It is fixed fate, but the most important thing is to die this way, in an honored way, to die with honor and with dignity. So after Bretnoth dies, the leader, what's going to happen? Then some unwilling ones bowed out of the battle. There was some soldiers who were not interested in the battle, who did not want to fight. And I mentioned that at the very beginning. I say that there are some, local people. There are some common people in this battle. They didn't want to fight. In fact, they wanted to pay a trace. Okay, and here it is. I forgot to explain it. When he said you all, when the messenger said you all, he means he wanted to create a dispute. It is a very important idea, guys. He wanted to create a dispute between the leader and the soldiers, or between the standing army and the local people, the common people who are going to fight. I hope that you grasped this idea. Anyway, then I say that then some unwilling ones bowed out of the battle. The sons of Oda. Look, he's saying that the sons of Oda, like if one of Oda's sons betrays, that means all the shame will, all the sons of Oda will be ashamed. So he is saying the sons of Oda. So what did the sons of Oda do? They were the first in the flight. Godric left the battle. So he is one of Oda's sons, and he left the battle and abandoned the good man who had often given him many horses. He leaped on the horse that belonged to his lord in his riding gear, which was not right. It was not a good thing to betray your lord. Loyalty is so important back then, and now as well, of course. And his brothers with him both ran away. So he and his brothers, Godwine and Godwig, didn't care for battle, but turned from the war and took to the woods, fled to safety and saved their lives, and many more beyond any good measure, if they had remembered all the rewards he had given them for their services. Back then, the king or the leader, he attacks other cities and he brings treasure, and after that he divides this treasure to his friends and to his soldiers. So the sons of Oda, they betrayed this king who once bestowed them with so much, who once gave them gold and treasure and sword, but they betrayed him, and it is a shame. It's a very shameful thing back then to betray your king. And I want you also to remember Beowulf here. In Beowulf, also in the famous Anglo-Saxon epic, Beowulf was also betrayed by his retainers, and they also say that they mentioned that they didn't remember how good was Beowulf to them and how he gave them treasures in his youth. So they did the same thing, the sons of Oda. So here, what happened after the sons of Oda fled? So yeah, we say that one of Oda's sons, he leapt on on Britnoth's horse, on the leader's horse, and after he leaped on the horse and he escaped, the other soldiers, they thought that the king or the leader escaped or fled, so they did the same. They also escaped, the common people who were within the army, within these soldiers. They escaped as the sons of Oda did. Why did they escape? Because they think that their leader, who is Britnoth, they thought that Britnoth escaped the battle, so they did the same. Well, after some of these, soldiers escape, following the sons of Oda, who betrayed their king, who stand in this battle? Some loyal soldiers. They did not flee. They stand and they fight. And now in these 2 pages, there's a description of how this, soldiers, how they fight and how they kill others. I mean, how they kill their enemies and how they die. Maybe some of them dies, and some of them kill his enemies. At least at the end I think all of them dies, but it is an honored way and it's a good way to die. So the son of Alfric urged them forward. A warrior young in years spoke his words. Ælfwine spoke and bravely said, I remember the speeches we made over meat, when we raised our boasts on the benches, horse heroes, in the hall, about hard struggle. Now he who is bold has to prove it. So if you are bold and if you are a noble man, you have to prove it and you have to be loyal to your king, and this is the battlefield, and go and fight. I come from a famous, so he is saying that I come from a famous family among the Mercians. The Mercians is one of the Anglo-Saxon tribes, one of the 7 tribes. Okay, so here in this part, look, each warrior starts to speak and starts to explain how he fights others, his enemies, and how he kills some of them, and then he dies, or he wins. So Offa spoke, also another fighter, another earl. He spoke, shook his ashen spear. You have remind all that thanes means also fighters at need. Now that our Lord lies dead, the earl on the earth, each of us needs to encourage every other warrior to war as long as he can have and hold his weapon, the hard blade, the spear, and the good sword. So then he said, Godric, wretched son of Oda, has betrayed us all. So Godric betrayed us, and now we're still in the battlefield, and we have to fight and we have to avenge for our leader. Look, at the same way, the other Leof Sono, he is another fighter, okay, another Earl of Thane, also spoke and raised his shield. Now he is going to fight, and it's a description of the way, or it's the poem is praising the way these fighters die. Okay, here again, Donner then spoke, shook his spear. So Offa spoke. We say that Offa spoke, and Britwald spoke, raised his shield. All these fighters, all these things. I mean, look, the most important idea here, as I said at first, that loyalty. We find that the first 2 pages, the first lines of the poem describes how the events went. But then the second half describes how each warrior fights and how each warrior dies in an honored way. So it is more important to die in an honored way than to win this battle. So also the son of Athelgar urged them all, Godric, to the battle. Often he let go a spear, sent a slaughter shaft whirling to the Vikings as he advanced foremost among the folk, hacked and laid low until he fell on the field. That was not Godric, who turned away from the battle. So it's another Godric. It is not Godric, the one who betrayed the king. No, it is a faithful, loyal Godric. Okay? So now, Alhamdulillah, we ended explaining this poem. I will just try to elicit or draw a lesson from this poem, as I think, and as my instructor Shafaq Hoja told me. So we know that there's, as I said, 7 Anglo-Saxon tribes: Northumbria, Mercia, Wessex, Sussex, Kent, Essex, and East Anglia. So these 7 tribes, they didn't work hand by hand. Instead, each tribe fights the Vikings alone. So the Vikings, either they win or they take tribute. So if the Vikings win, they will become more powerful, and if the Vikings take tribute or money, also they will become more powerful. So the idea here, these 7 tribes didn't work together, okay, and that is why they failed, and that is why they lost the battle, except for the last kingdom. This is Wessex. They call Wessex the last kingdom. And so the most important idea here also is the idea of nationalism. We understand that nationalism is important, and if these tribes understand the idea of nationalism, they would win this battle against the Vikings, but they didn't. I will just have a look at the poem. If I forgot anything, I will mention it. Okay, I think I have covered all the important ideas. As I said, I didn't really read all the poem. I tried to read the lines that makes the structure of this poem, so that you can understand the most important idea and the flow of this poem. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments for my other friends and the students, and please subscribe in my channel and like the video. Goodbye. May God bless you all. See you in another video.